Hi, I'm Franco.
And I'm going to have to show you where I work and how I work. So let's start here. This is my studio. This is where I have all my stuff. It's kind of messy, but it's mine, and all my stuff is here. But I don't always work here. Sometimes I work in other places. Sometimes I work here. Sometimes I work here with them.
Hey, say hi them.
Hi, them.
Hi, them. Hi, them.
Okay. But a lot of times I work here in my studio, and I've got it set up so I can do a lot of different things. Sometimes I work here. This is my paint desk. It gets kind of messy. There's a lot of paint. Most of the time I work here. That's where I do most of my writing and a lot of my artwork. As you can see, I have a lot of notebooks. A lot of notebooks that I write a lot of notes in. And I keep them all on my shelf. And these guys right here keep me company. But they're not working too hard right now. I have notebooks and sketchbooks everywhere that I keep a lot of notes in. I write in them all the time. This is a sketchbook. There's a picture of me. I drew me. Among other things, but this is where I get my ideas down on paper. And I draw little sketches of different things. I like shapes and circles and stuff. And I've become so notebook obsessed that I've actually made some of my own. So I actually constructed these out of scrap paper and colorful paper and tape and glue. So I have my own sketchbooks and notebooks. But I write in composition notebooks quite a bit. So here's an idea that I have in, and the first thing I do is I write down lots and lots of notes. And I write them in sketch form, but then sometimes I'll put them on a grid like this, and I'll write them all out. And then I'll write them out in visual form as well. And then I also put them in my iPad and stuff. That's what I'll send out to other people. So here's a good idea of how I work, or a good illustrative idea. So I'll come up with a whole bunch of ideas that I'll write out longhand, or I'll make voice memos on my phone, and then I'll write them out, and then I'll take them and kind of put them in a coherent timeline. So these will be pages, and you'll see this is like 20 pages of a book, and I'll write out everything that I'll have on there. And then it gives me a good chance to take this and self-edit. So I'll take that and I'll put it into this form, which is, here's an example. Here's a good example of some pages from Flash Gordon that I worked on. And I wrote these and drew these myself. So I'll take this form right here, or I'll write them out here, and then I will kind of take them and put them into a form like this, very rudimentary form like this, and then I will self-edit and come back with the parts that I want in the pages. So these will be the panels of the pages. And this is a 3-page story right here. And then what will happen from there is I'll send that to the editor. They'll take a look at it. And then the final pages will come out of that. So here's the final pages for what you just saw. And these are fully colored and finished. I do write a lot of scripts for other artists as well, and these are the two main tools that I use. I'll use this for pretty much everything. You'll see, I'll do some sketches, but I'll write with this in my notebook, like this, and then I'll also type scripts, so I'll use this. Well, it comes with the whole thing, the computer screen, the computer brains, and I'll type in here and it shows up on the screen, and I'll send pages to people. I like working in different art styles. So here's a book that I worked on. This Teen Titans Go to the Library. And I actually drew quite a bit of this, but these pages were drawn by Agnes, very talented artist, Agnes Garbaska. But then there's different styles in here. And I drew these pages because I used to be an art teacher. I taught for 25 years as a high school art teacher. So I like all styles of artwork. So I did a lot of different styles. I can do a lot of different styles, which explains the pencil drawings, the pen drawings, the paintings. I'll do a lot of different styles in a lot of different ways. So here is kind of my process, but I work often on a lot of different things at once, but this is how I start. I usually start out by drawing in ballpoint pen. When I was a little kid, I would go to work with my mom and dad. They worked in restaurants, and I would draw on the back of placemats or scrap paper that I have, and I would always draw in ballpoint pen, so I'm kind of used to that. And this will be my drawings as they start. I'll figure out what figure or position the characters will be in, and then they kind of evolve into mostly shapes and things like that. So these are some pen drawings that have evolved into what will be kind of like a finished drawing. Some of these I'll abandon, some of these I'll keep. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. So they kind of get into this process, and then they usually finish up with something a little bit more refined. I know that there's a lot of jumbled lines or jumbled looking lines like this on the paper, but I know which lines I'm going to want. So usually this will be a finished pen drawing, and then I'll take a light box, which is just a flat surface. I don't have it hooked up right now, but this is my light box. It shines light through, and you can see the reflection of the light. And I'll put the pen drawing on here, and then a blank piece of paper on top, and then I will light box with pencil. So this will be my pencil version of something, and then once I have that down, I'll start to ink. So my inks will take on, and again, these are different pieces that I work on all the time, and sometimes I abandon them, sometimes I finish. Most of these will probably be finished once I get to this stage. So you can see the pencil marks and everything that I have on them. Here's one where the character is finished, but the backgrounds are not yet, but that'll get there. It'll get there in color and such. And then, once I have the pencil pieces done, I'll erase all the pencil marks, and I'll have something that kind of sort of looks like just black lines like this. I'll take that, and then I like to add color because, being the art teacher and looking at wonderful colors and paintings, this is something that's kind of in the middle of being finished. You'll see some of the tones and highlights that I'm adding with color. And then once I get to the color stage, sometimes I'm very art, all over the place. I like different styles. I like different colors. I like blotches of color. So this may look a little bit messy, but I like the art style of this. Sometimes they get a little out of hand, where the color just kind of goes everywhere. But like I said, they look very different from each other, but I like them. I like both of them. And it's kind of like what I like to explore. Sometimes my art is very refined and put into lines. So they're very, very stark black and whites. So there's a lot of different art styles that I like to use when I'm doing this. So, one piece may not look the same as the other, but that's really what I like about artwork. So most of the time, like I said, I work in a notebook, and I'll refine what I have from here to this. And this will be kind of like a final page. And then I'll take this page and I'll scan it into my computer. And that will kind of show you what you have. You can enlarge it, set the panels and everything. So you can see here's with and without the panels. And then I'll actually start to ink it. So this is what I use to do my drawings. And you can see the black line. And that's what I'm kind of in the process of doing right here. And then once that's set, I'll skip around and I'll show you things, because these would be some finished pages for a book I'm working on called Zombie Cat. And here's a cover that I worked on. So this will be the process. And if you can see here, you can see all the layers of everything that I'm putting in. So you can see the layers of colors that are going in here and whatnot. And then what ultimately happens is I will take all these files and I will send them out to the printer, and then I will get one of these things. And this is what you wind up holding in your hands, is a comic book finished after all the stuff I've done, from my notebook to my other notebook to my Procreate and my iPad to this. So there's a lot of steps involved all the way through. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of my studio. It's a little studio, so it's not going to get much bigger than that. And that's how I create comic books and artwork and scripts. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.